Are you hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there. This is I have one more week of my teaching engagement thing, and then I'll have a couple more days a week open up, which would be nice.
Are you
Um,
happy or sad?
uh, you, I suppose once it's all over, I'll have some sadness about it, but it's it takes up a good couple nights of the week or a few nights of the week because there's usually another day of prep or whatever. But um, so I'll be happy to get that time back. But you know, it's sad to see the not be around the students anymore or whatever, because whatever. But yeah, so mixed feelings, I guess. But yeah, I didn't really get much done in the way of this thing other than thinking about stuff. I realized I need to get some labels and print some labels for these little SD cards that I bought to put the games on them, and then I need to still just kind of reeling about just getting. I need to get some sort of foothold and get some traction going, and just building more stuff isn't that way. Um, uh, so I'm not sure if I'm going to try to find an existing game, try to get that, and just talk to the person and say, can I put this together and whatever, or if I should develop some sort of game myself and try to sell it through this mechanism so I can prove it all out, or I don't know. I just need to find some sort of foothold traction type thing, and decide and do it. But I'm waffling at the moment. So it's been not a lot of progress.
Are you losing motivation or are you hitting a plateau?
I think it's, I mean, it's a little of both. It's more probably that, I mean, there is some motivation to it, but it's more like I just the direction I haven't figured it out yet. what I need to do, and so I'm kind of I'm just spinning, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping that once I get a couple more nights a week here after next week, that will change because I have less of an excuse to not push on this. So, but then summer starts up, and then my wife's made plans for every single weekend, so there's that too. But anyhow, so yeah, not much progress to report, but I think without having this thing every week, I might have just decided meh, and not even continued on. So it's good that to keep this ever present on my mind, having this meeting. So
I feel the same way. I can look at.
oh, you're quiet now.
So I feel the same way. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yeah.
So I feel the same way. I kind of feel as if like I have this somewhat stress to be able to demo something Friday morning, and so like I mean I was up at 5 in the morning trying to add the chicken category to a Domino's menu. And so, I mean, it's productive. I just feel like it keeps me moving forward, or hence laying that one brick at a time. So
Yeah. And that was me sitting last night was I'm not going to have anything to show for tomorrow, and then I was literally just sitting on the couch trying to think of what to do, and nothing was happening. So I need to. I don't know. I need to refocus myself, I guess here. But so, but it sounds like you got the chicken category added.
So like, let me. And I think I found a good bird killer, meaning kill two birds with one stone. That
Oh,
I'll
cool.
talk about after. So like, present to everyone, and then turn that off, and then launch this. All right. So I don't like Pizza Hut. So there's Domino's, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if I showed burgers and shakes either, but anyway, um, you could drill into your various restaurants, which you're already aware of, and the categories are right here. But everything right here so far is just American. Um, but I'm not sure. Did I have burgers and shakes last Friday?
No, no.
Okay, so the burgers and shakes, they don't on their website. They don't have actual pictures of their menu items, but I mean, I got that done for the most part. Shakes I just took from the Denny's menu. I used the same look and feel.
Hmm.
And other right now it's just French fries, onion rings, but they also have like espressos. But I don't think people are going to order an espresso on the beach if they're hungry. I could be wrong, but that's just more effort, and so I decided to hold off on that.
Yeah.
Um, in addition to that, I want to wrap up this Domino's today, and so this is everything on here. Pizza, well, not everything, pizza and chicken, but I still have to add the bread, hence cheese sticks or whatever, bread sticks. But the categories are wired up. Chicken is wired up, specialty chicken, and then wings, whatever.
Hmm.
I wonder if this actually works. I didn't test this part yet. Okay, yeah, that works. Uh, so, in addition to that, uh, let's assume that I want to get something to drink too. So, in addition to that, I did some cosmetic updates, and this I don't know if I demoed. I think I demoed
Yep.
the shopping cart icon in the scooter.
Yep.
I added this little separator right here. And I went from deliverer to courier. I had to advance my vocabulary, and I updated the colors and the slightly the look and feel. Arrives in 3 minutes, and then this maintains your order is on its way before the buttons used to disappear, and then delivery completed, whatever. So I feel like I'm making some cool progress, man. I kind of don't want to work again, but I need money. but so like that's the app, and then I had a light bulb moment where remember like I think in the last I thought meetup or second last meetup that we had, I was talking about where are you at? How do I get to you? I was talking about um, the marketing part and how I was considering like renting a boat and throwing a huge like banner on it. But then there's like those digital boats, but they look like they cost hella money. Then I was like, maybe I should just build a raft or something. Um, and I mean, and it's all that stuff is viable. It's just locked in every single time. Like that costs money every single time, right? And chances are I would have to keep on doing it in order to gain like probably another 10 downloads or so each time I do a rental. That's me being pessimistic.
Hmm.
And I was like, fuck, I'm unemployed, man. I don't have money to be throwing like 300 or $1,000 or a couple $1,000 every single weekend, right? Let alone weekdays. So then a light bulb went off. Um, was like, there's too much ceremony. Like, I've been harassing like Uber Eats people whenever I'm at PF Chang's or any restaurant and I see them picking up an order. And I ask them, if there's anything for delivering at like public parks or beaches. And they say, not really, but if someone really wanted to, you could, because you just put in the address of the park or of the building where the beach is, and you put in the notes, the additional details of where you're at on the beach or the park. But you know, you could do that, and they said that they've done it once or twice, but it's really an inconvenience because then you got to park, and then you got to worry about getting a parking ticket. Do you really want to pay $3 for a commission fee that's like $6, right? And so it's just a major inconvenience. And so that was the feedback I was getting when I was running up on like these dudes that were picking up orders at restaurants. And then I'm like, fuck. So I could do a orchestration of a driver and a person on foot, which I think I mentioned to you earlier, where like I build in some type of functionality where the driver has an option to share a delivery fee with someone on foot that could basically do the exchange and walk it over. But then that would increase the delivery fee and increase complexity as well. And it'll work because there's been times where like I order a $20 pizza at Papa John's, they charge $4 to deliver it, and they still want their tip and taxes on top of that. And I'll end up spending like $32 or something on like a $20 pizza, right? Um, so then I was like, okay, it's doable, but that means that I'm just not going to have as many people willing. The people that are going to be willing to make that purchase are not going to be one or two people at the beach. They're going to be like family reunions at the beach, like hella people, like get-togethers, groups at the beach that are going to be willing to spend that money because they're already spending like 30 or more dollars. And so then I was like, okay, let me share my screen again. And I think I already told you yesterday, but let me share my screen again.
Mm-hmm.
Present to everyone, and then hi. So then I was like, I need like something to get over the terrain. And then I was like, what about an electric tricycle, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have storage capacity up front, which I could probably swap out and extend if I wanted to carry like large pizza boxes. And then I got the storage capacity on the back. It's electric. It has pedals, meaning that they could go like 20 miles an hour on the streets, and then they can basically ride up on the curb, go through the park, and maybe make a little bit of traction on the beach, and just use the electric power.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. I could decal this or add branding to it, where maybe I put discs over the wheels with whatever branding decals, and then I'll throw a huge banner that's attached to the bike on the back of it with a huge like flag that has the branding or the logo on it for downloading the app, and that is transportation slash marketing slash write off. And I was like, I think this is it. It's just hell of expensive, but I think this is it. Plus, I live in Miami Beach, so I could just take it out, regardless of if it's for business or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is it. I think this solves my problems. Caveat is it's like between $2,600 and $3,000. Um,
Yeah, that's a lot of deliveries.
that's a lot of deliveries, but then yes, that's a lot of deliveries. But this can also be my personal use as well.
Yep.
Again, I live on the beach, so it's like Miami's live. There's a lot I could do with this, and I don't have to worry about parking, right? Because
Yep.
it's a bicycle. So then the other part was, okay, this might be fine for like the first month or two as I'm like doing this on my own. and I'm like the solo guy that's receiving notifications and doing drop offs. But I think this is the technology that I need. But I need to scale this because I need to start building out infrastructure and I need to start responding to the market. Meaning I need to start programming, right? And adding additional features and solving bugs, whatever. So then I'm like, all right, I could I could rent out. I could buy like two more of these. So maybe I have a fleet of three, and I could start renting out these electric trikes. Maybe at like, I don't know, $20 a day. That means that they have to do at least maybe 4 transactions to pay for it, in addition to making their own commissions that they pocket. Um, the more of these that I have, and the more that I decorate them with branding, the more marketing I get, and the more it just scales. Yeah, I mean, $20 a day is going to take probably like, I don't know, half a year to pay it off, but it's still a business expense. It's still a write off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to feedback, and then like potentially I could open up an additional channel of income and just rent these out. Period. When they're not in use.
Oh,
I don't
sure.
know. My,
Yeah.
my brain is scatterbrained, but like I'm excited about this because this opens up like a whole new realm of possibilities, and it definitely solves my marketing and transportation issue. People see me on this with like the decals and the flag poking out of whatever name of the app it is for them to download. It's doing marketing by itself when I
Mm-hmm.
deliver or when it's just sitting there because it's still cool. All right, what do you think?
Um, yeah, certainly a better strategy than the boat thing, I think, for sure. Um, the getting I like the the concept of renting it out too when it's not otherwise in use or whatnot. That makes a lot of sense. Um, so yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go with it, it seems like a legit move. So yeah.
Uh, so I need you to quit your job and leave Minnesota to help me build all this. Bring your family over.
What do
But
you
yeah,
mean? I'm waiting for you to hit it big so I can start the snowmobile delivery service up here in the wintertime.
oh yeah.
I'll
I mean,
just
honestly,
people.
that infrastructure is still going to be factored into all that.
Yeah,
I still
once
told you I want to build a mobile listing, like a mobile app that's a listing of all those gig economy type services.
I don't think there's anybody who will deliver a pizza to a fish house. So I'm gonna be I'll be the first one. So
It's a fish house. Are those like when you drill a hole in the ice and you just sit on the stool?
yeah, basically.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean a fish house is it can be a lot more extravagant than that. There's these things called like Ice Castle Fish House, and it's basically like an RV, um, or like a camper, but like you put it on the ice and then it kind of like goes down, so the wheels kind of retract into it, and then you just pop open the bottom and drill your holes, and they're heated and they've got like TV and beds and toilet and everything. Yeah,
y'all do that?
yeah, yeah.
I don't. I'm not trying to be cold. Like, I mean, if you light a fire, the ice will melt. Like, who
No,
volunteers for that?
no, I went ice fishing for the first time in years and years this last week, and it's kind of fun. You just get in there with in a house with your friends, and drink and fish and eat and talk, and
I'm
yeah,
tropical, man. I can't freeze. That's not fun.
it's warm in the fish house. It's cold everywhere, unless
Okay.
unless although like this last when I went. We were in the fish house kind of late. It got dark, and then a snowstorm was coming in, and I go and get on the snowmobile and I rev it up a little bit, and the thing takes off and just goes across the lake by itself. I just
Mm,
lost the damn thing.
wow.
So I'm running after it, and I look back at my buddy, and I'm just like, what do I do? But yeah, that was a bit scary, but
How's your, however you pronounce that event, lamb, whatever that thing
Ludum
was
there.
last week? Yeah.
Because I lost a whole day to going to up north and seeing a movie with my friend. It I didn't finish, but I think if I had the 2 days, I would have. I kind of need Saturday to tease out the idea, and then Sunday to kind of solidify it. I was at the end of Sunday where I would have been at the end of Saturday, and if I had another day, I would have been fine, but I didn't. So I just kind of threw in the towel at I think like 6 o'clock on Sunday and said, "Nah." But it was fun, anyways. It was a pretty good weekend. But yeah, now I need to try to tap into the people that have made games for that and see if I can get them to make boxes for them. But yeah, it was all right.
Because, I mean, I don't know that much about video games,
Oh,
but
your mic's up again.
I don't know that much about video games, but I could totally see someone using it as their portfolio.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the whole like I'm taking this serious, and so kind of like a formal business card or whatever, but for gaming, so that people know that you do care and that you you know presentation does matter to you.
yeah, for sure. I mean, in general, people do that. I mean, I've included all of my Ludum Dare links or whatever on my resume when in the 2 times that I've changed my jobs. But but yeah, it's it shows that you're doing something and you're interested in things. So
Yeah,
if nothing else, but
I'm gonna have to buy a Mac so I could deploy to both Android and iOS. That's so much more money, man.
just get a can't you just get a Mac Mini for 200-300 bucks and call it good? That's what most people that needed build servers on Mac that I've ever talked to do.
And it can handle it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
wonder. I
it'll
wonder if
probably,
even you can. I wonder if you can even get cloud builds now of it, of on for Mac stuff where you wouldn't even need to buy it. But um, I don't
if
know.
it were $30 a month, I might consider it. Then I'll get upset after I spent like $1,500 and I and it's like no end in sight. Hence the subscription model. Yeah, I mean, I might just. It's the cost of doing business, man. The question is, and I think I know the answer, but the question is, do I need? Should I have this app deployed on both before I start testing it out, or should I just deploy it on Android and the iOS people are out of luck? I feel like 2/3 of the people in the states have iPhones. That may not be correct, but I feel that
Yeah.
way.
No, it's iPhones are huge in this year.
Because
So
whenever I look for accessories for my Android Galaxy, like it's almost non-existent. But there's like a whole dedicated wall of iOS accessories.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. iOS is kind of a necessary thing. Man, these Mac Minis, they used to be like
Uh oh.
500 or less, and now they're like 700 to 1,000. Apple just
Why?
keeps raising their prices on stuff.
Well, because they're beefing up the performance or whatever.
I don't know. It's not. I mean, compared to a PC of the equal caliber, like 800 bucks for an i3 Intel i3 with 8 gigs of RAM. Okay. And 120 gigabytes of solid state drive. Like that's kind of expensive. Yeah, I don't know. You could probably get a used one for pretty cheap. I don't know what the minimum would have to be, but all you need to do is get a build and you're done, right?
Yeah, it'll probably take me a couple of days just to learn how to do that. I mean, I've done it before. It's just last time I messed around and deployed to an iPhone doing Xamarin development was like 4 years ago. So I have to relearn all that stuff.
You should just see if your public library has Macs and then go in there and use them to compile it.
Libraries have Mac machines.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they used to have. I mean, they used to have computers, but I don't know.
I
Schools
never
like
saw that.
schools up here have had Mac machines just like crazy. But I bet you get a used one pretty cheap nowadays. It's just new ones are so expensive. But
It's,
or you could just find someone who's got one and ask them to compile it for you. I
and
suppose.
Mac Minis, they plug into a Windows machine via some port.
I mean, they'll plug into a monitor and a keyboard just regular. They're just like they're just little square boxes. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyone who I've ever known who was trying to, did most of their development on Windows, but needed a Mac to target whatever, just they would end up buying these Mac Minis and throw them in a closet and connect them up to their network and send the files over, build, and get them back. But like I said, I haven't looked at them in a while, and Apple's gone. I think Apple's just trying to see how high they can go, where people will keep buying.
Apple is a religion. I don't know. This stuff seems complicated. Hopefully, I could just find like maybe an $800 laptop, Mac laptop, or $1,000 Mac laptop.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hell, I mean, you could get one of those probably on the cheap too. Heck, you could probably find one online where the screen's broken and then just hook it up into your network and into a monitor and then build it that way. I mean, there's probably a bunch of ways you could get this for fairly cheap if you can find some sort of service that'll build it for you.
Yeah,
But
good stuff.
yeah,
And all this is just the customer app, not even the courier app. Is it
yeah.
courier or courier?
I've always said courier, but I really don't know.
So not even the courier app. Fuck.
And not to mention your cloud infrastructure stuff needed to support the back end too, right?
Yeah.
Although that shouldn't be too expensive. You can build out a back end for
Well, I really
$5.
wanted to do it in Clojure, but that's going to take me forever as I learn Clojure and build out the back end. But I really want to learn Clojure. If I do it in F sharp, I'll just build it out. So I don't know. It's focus on a portfolio, or do I focus on taking this seriously as a business and try to be optimistic? I've been treating it as a portfolio.
Yeah. Well, I think, you'd have to find get a customer first to really get that feedback where I think you'd flip from portfolio to business mindset. I'm guessing.
Then I'll no longer be a software craftsman. Then I'll just like push it out, ship it, go. What's wrong with you? Go.
It doesn't need to be perfect. Just get it out there.
Have my own sweatshop of developers in my like living room. They have sweatshops of programmers.
I know game shops used to be that way, but I don't know that they are anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there is some. I'm sure there's sweatshops of developers in foreign countries, but what those look like, I have no idea.
There's sweatshops of recruiters in foreign countries. I know that. So, all right. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say. But oh yeah, we're supposed to say what we want to strive to accomplish next session.
Man, I mean, at this point, it's
Don't tap out, man.
do anything for progress. I need to find a brick. Gosh, you know what? I think I'm gonna say reach out to two people. Just simple, reach out to two people, and even if they say no, um, and try to just get someone interested in and moving on this. So that should be a fairly simple, thing to do. Um,
Reach out to two people or find two people that initially say okay.
um, I think I'm just gonna say reach out at this point.
That could
But
be done in 30 seconds on Twitter.
yeah, well, yeah, I'll broadcast. Hey, anybody want this? And I'm sure two people have read it, but no. Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll get one, but um, yeah, man, I don't know. I've got a lot of shit going on this next week. Um, I'll try to find one. I'll try to find one person to commit.
Is it possible that you can Google indie game packaging, find a forum where people are asking those questions, and then target that?
Yeah, I've done a little of that. The thing is there's a couple brands that do it, but they don't do it for hobbyists. There's kind of like three tiers of developers in the gaming world. There's the AAA or studios that are actually like EA and stuff like that. Then there's the indie game, what we and sometimes referred to as AAA, but basically it's the actual indie studios that are kind of bigger and doing work. And then there's like the low hobbyists who's making a few games and they're not huge releases, but they're proud of what they do. And there's no one really targeting that third tier for this. But because of that, there isn't really a good place to engage with them. Although I can go on itch.io where they hang out and start there. Um, Actually, maybe I should just go on the forum there and post this and get the ball rolling there.
Like, I mean, if it were me, I would figure out what hashtags are used on Twitter for these indie game developers, and then I would post a poll and try to get someone that has hella followers to retweet it. I would even message them and ask them kindly, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Do you mind if you retweet this poll so that I can figure out, if there's a market for me wanting to help others? Yeah, that's what I would try to do. Figure out what the hashtags are. Figure out who are the head honchos within those hashtags based on their followings, and then message a couple of them and ask them if they would mind retweeting it. You would really appreciate it as you're trying to help people.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, the fear with any of that is that I'd be too successful with anything. Actually, just because of my ability to actually produce these things at this point is quite limited, and I really need to get my process down.
Yeah,
So
but
finding one person would be good.
okay, I don't know anything about
Okay.
marketing, but like, isn't a huge piece of it like building an email list so that once you have things ready to launch, that you can like start blasting out um, your I don't know your campaign based
Yeah,
on the people that express interest.
yeah. That's kind of your classic internet marketing strategy or whatever is to build the list and go that route.
Or if there's an indie game developers convention, then reach out to the organizers of it and see if you could purchase the emails from there.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
I've done that
If I
before.
want to be sleazy. No, just kidding.
I don't think so because it's you already focused on that particular market. You're not like blasting out
Yeah.
emails to people you don't know. You're blasting out emails to people that demonstrated that they have an interest in those specific conventions and they actually attended it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I've got some outlets I can
Okay.
tap here. So, like I said, the itch.io crowd, which is a game site where most of the kind of hobbyists and indie gamers kind of, you know, anyone who's in the know anyways puts their stuff. So, um, I think if I reach out on the forums there and maybe follow up with the people that I had last week from Ludum Dare that I reached out to, and um, and worst case Twitter. Um, I think I can find someone. So I'll look at I'll my goal then or target for next week is just okay. I'll get one person who is actively interested and working with me to build this out. So as far as wanting to make a box and receive a copy of their game. So fair enough. How about you?
Mm, I'm not sure if it'll. I'm not sure if I need to next week, but sooner or later, I need to start pinging all of these restaurant chains and ask them for their web services so that I could submit orders. If they expose uh, a web app for ordering online, then I need to get access to their web services so that when someone makes a request or places an order, on the customer app, I have a service that takes that order request and then converts it into whatever request that the actual restaurant will accept in exchange payment information or whatever. So I need to start reaching out to like Domino's and Burgers and Shakes and anybody that is like middle to large scale that already has that infrastructure. I probably don't need to do that by Friday, but I want to finish off. I'll have the Domino's menu finished off today. For next Friday, I need to. I don't know. What do you think I should do?
Oh man, I don't know. Start writing your closure app.
I know what I want to do. I want to by next Friday. I want to show some quote unquote progress uh, with integrating Google Maps so
There
that
you go.
it could identify your request location and it can place a marker on whatever location of that restaurant.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Cool.
So, all right, Sean, it's been real. Thanks
Yep.
for hanging in there.
Yeah, no, I'll make it even if I have no progress. So, got to keep it going.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Cheers.
Peace.
Bye.
Stop broadcasting.